Yes, it all came crashing down for me on the day that people consider one of the most special moments in life. In the years, months, weeks, and even moments leading up to this, if anyone had asked me, I don't think I would have been able to pinpoint that the people who were supposed to respect me and stay loyal to me would make such an elaborate plan to betray me, and that too in front of hundreds of people. I still remember the moment I realized Ron wasn't going to be there for the wedding. It was when I found out he had blocked my number and all my social media. I felt like I was in agony. The tears streamed down my face as I realized that no amount of comfort, empathy, or apologies from anyone would fix me. I just couldn't believe the fact that the two had disappeared into thin air, and no amount of tracing could help me track them down. In my foolish, hazy state, I left Ron message after message. I told him everything that Alina's then-boyfriend had told me, that Alina was pregnant, and with his child. I was pretty much sure that she had tried to pass it off as Ron's. I knew that if Ron didn't read those messages now, he'd be stuck with Alina for a long time, and he really did. The text never got to him, and I only assumed the two stayed together. I was broken for a whole year until one day, I realized I had to move on. I enrolled myself in therapy, joined a few clubs around my city, made friends, got myself an apartment, and have been living a pretty decent life. Years passed since everything went down, and now everything that happened just feels like a nightmare. In a way, sometimes I even feel glad about it because, even though I was 26 when we were about to get married, I realized that I truly wasn't ready for it all. But now I know what I want, and I found someone who fulfills me in ways Ron never did. I started dating Nick, who's honestly way better to me than Ron ever was. Everything with Nick is going smoothly. We're planning to move in together and take our relationship to the next level. My life is as normal as can be, and I've realized it's all because Ron isn't in it to create chaos. But of course, this post wouldn't exist if everything turned out okay. It all began when I got a call from none other than Ron. It was from a random number, so not knowing who it was, I picked up. I was shocked, to say the least, when I heard Ron's voice on the other end. He sounded like he'd been crying a lot. His voice was strange, and he started the conversation by apologizing for everything. As awkward as I felt, I just replied with a soft hum as he began ranting about how he had just read my messages from years ago and how everything made sense to him now. He told me he regretted everything and wished that we could meet just once to talk. I declined, telling him that after everything he did, I wasn't sure if I could trust him. Surprisingly, he didn't fight back and simply hung up. I thought that would be the end of it. Honestly, I just celebrated the fact that I got some sort of closure, or at least found out that Ron got the karma he very much deserved. But unfortunately, that call was just the beginning of it all. The next day, my phone started flooding with calls and texts from my parents, my relatives, and none other than Alina. All of them berated me for ruining a happy marriage. According to my mom, it was very bitter of me to tell Ron everything that Alina's then-boyfriend had told me because they were already developing a relationship, and apparently, I shouldn't have tried to ruin it. This just confirmed that Ron had probably confronted Alina, and something had gone terribly wrong between them. Honestly, I don't feel an ounce of sympathy for a home-wrecking woman like Alina. Everything that has happened to her is due to her inability to stay honest and loyal. But I also can't help but have some doubt within me. Even though everyone from Ron's side of the family and even Nick is on my side, I truly need some advice here. Am I the asshole? I talked to Nick about this fully because I felt it was about time to tell him the whole situation, which he previously only knew a few details about. I told him about my wedding day, Alina's boyfriend, Ron, and everything that has been happening to date. Nick was super understanding and supportive. He understood why I was so heartbroken about my family's demeanor toward the situation. He suggested that I really should meet Ron and see what he has to say. I was surprised, but I agreed and decided to message Ron on the same number he had called me from. We talked for a bit and planned to meet a couple of days later, as he would be flying to my city. I'll keep you posted.